Woo!
This is awesome. I'm so glad we went. Didn't go to work. We'd be sitting there going, God, we should have gone fishing.
Hey, welcome everybody to the Salty Yak Podcast, where we talk saltwater kayak fishing most of the time. I'm your host, Kerry, and we got two of the old salts back tonight.
Roger Collins.
Robert Acala.
Also, El Jefe in Wikipedia.
There we go.
Yeah, I think you're going with El Jefe since you're, like our best shot at a Angler of the Year in the Saltwater Survival Series.
I'll try to keep it going. I'll try to keep
it going. We got to put you on some trout.
Yep.
So thank y'all for tuning in. We've got a good show for y'all tonight. We're going to give a little, talk a little bit more about a Redfish tournament that's coming up. If you're not entered yet, you need to hit pause right now. Go to Tourney X and hit enter and register for our tournament. So we're talking about that. We're going to talk about fishing the jetties and BTB, more along the lines of using artificial bait because it plays right into the tournament that we're doing. Then we're going to talk about team strategies for tournaments. We've got a team tournament coming up. Y'all two have been teammates several times on some team tournaments, so we'll talk about that.
Yep, shake and bake, baby.
Shake and bake.
We're going to talk about, summer's coming. Spring's here. We're still dealing with the whole thing of the cold front showing up every Saturday morning. But we're going to talk about summer's right down the road. And, the other day I looked at the temperature on the truck and it said 94 degrees. Ooh. So it can get hot, in one day it can get pretty dang warm. Then we're going to wrap it up with our Matagorda Island trip. Just a little quick put the cherry on top of that because that thing's about to kick off. And got some yak news for y'all, and that'll do it. And be a full pocket. Are you looking at my list there? Yeah.
I like that.
That's my to-do list. That the TV turned into a bulletin board. So
it's an expensive bulletin board.
Well, it's not my TV, so I don't care. So that's what I was using it for. All right, let's talk about the Salty Yak Kayak Redfish Tournament. So this thing is on Tourney X. If you don't know what Tourney X is, it is the app or the website where we host the tournament, and that's where you upload your pictures to. So what I love about this tournament, and if y'all have never done anything like this, give this a try. You have 30 days. The tournament starts May 1st, and it goes until May 31st. 31st.
Yeah, there's 31 days in May.
I didn't know. I'm not very good on that one.
I checked. Just for this, I checked.
So 31 days of fishing. So there you go. It's just not a one-day tournament. You have 31 days to go out and compete in this. So what you're looking for is 5 redfish. Texas slot, which is 20 to 28 inches. But 2 of those they don't have to be, but 2 of those can be over slot. They can be over 28 inches. So that gives some play there. If you catch some big redfish, that they will count in this tournament. So, and then everybody who has redfish can play in this. All of our people up and down the Texas coast, Louisiana, all the way to Florida, all the way up to North Carolina. Everybody, if you have redfish, even if you have freshwater redfish, you can play in this. So, go register. We've only got about, what's today, the 25th?
650 people. Right?
No.
Okay, my bad.
Well, the more people we have in it,
the
more money. So the top 5 places get paid. But we also I'm going to be doing a weekly drawing for everybody that's in the tournament. So there'll just be a random, if you've entered the tournament, then you're entered into the drawing. So every week, one day, I'll pick a day and I'll do a video and I'll use the computer put everybody's name into a random name generator, and the computer will pick a name.
I like that.
So here is what the prizes are. So week number 1, these are kind of like step levels.
Does it get better?
Oh yeah, they get much better as you go along. But even if you win the first week, it more than covers your entry fee. So week number 1, a $25 Keep Reeling Adventures gift certificate. What this is, Keep Reeling Adventures, if you don't know who they are, it's Ryan Cash down in Corpus Christi, and he's the one who makes all these rod leashes, phone leashes, drive leashes, stakeout poles, all this other stuff. You'll see them a lot at the fishing shows and stuff, but you get a $25 gift card for that. You get a Slayer lure package, and you get an Arctic 20-ounce Salty Yak mug.
Nice.
So bought some mugs, and we're just going to put a Salty Yak sticker on it. So you get a 20-ounce good coffee mug for you.
Very nice.
So that's week 1. Week 2, you get the same Keep Reeling gift certificate. You get a $25 field Fishing Tackle Unlimited gift certificate, along with the lure package. Actually has more lures, and you get a cup. Week 3, the $25 Keep Reeling gift certificate, the $25 FTU gift certificate. The whole lure in the lure package grows. You get Bugs Lures includes in this one. Bugs Jigs includes in that one.
That's awesome.
And you get a 30-ounce mug on week number 3. So week number 4, same $25 Keep Reeling gift certificate, $50 FTU gift certificate, 30-ounce Arctic mug, more lures, Bugs Jigs, and 2 of my favorite hard baits are coming in that one, along with a TFO medium light casting rod.
Sweet.
So
It's nice.
So those are the raffle prizes that we're giving out. So we're paying the top 5 places. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not in the top 5, you got a pretty good chance of winning something.
Now, is this total inches?
Yes.
How are you keeping count?
Total inches. So when you upload your picture to Tourney X to your it's a live leaderboard.
Mm-hmm.
So every time somebody loads a picture up of a fish, it updates the leaderboard. So you can look on your phone or you can look on your computer at any time, 24 hours a day, and see exactly where you are. And it has pictures of the people's fish. You can click on them and look at their pictures. So when you upload it, you get to say, okay, by my reckoning, I think this is a 25-inch redfish. And you upload the picture and you put 25 inches in. I come back, being the moderator, look at the picture, and I click verify or unverified. Verified, it goes green thumbs up, but it gives a running total out to the side too. So when you get 5 fish, it just gives you a running total, and it does automatic cull for you too. So
really?
So if your smallest fish is 21 inches and you catch a 23-inch one and put it in there, it'll kick that 21 out and put your 23 in for you. So
very good.
So, so it's total inches. That's where the 2 overslot come into play. I've seen other tournaments where it's slot fish. So it's the first one who can catch, 3 28-inch fish. And they do that by day 3. And then, the tournament's over.
You can't beat that at that point because you can't increase it. You can tie it, but you can't exceed it.
So this one, you can, with the 2 overslot fish, it allows you the ability to go out there and upgrade. I mean, we've all been out there fishing. I mean, we've done this on tournaments. So dang it, I've got that 28 1/4. Doesn't count. Got to throw him back. Well, this one, guess what? He counts.
Right.
You catch that 32-inch fish like Chris Lopez did that on the freezer yak off. It counts. I'm all about big redfish. So there you go. And think about this. We're going to be or some of us are going to be fishing the Cats tournament. We're all going to Matagorda. All of those redfish that we catch there, you can submit them. I mean, if you're fishing another tournament, you can still use the fish that you catch in that tournament for this tournament. So
yeah,
why not?
Double duty.
Yeah, why not? Why not do it? So, and the thing about this one, it's all water is open. So you can go jetty fishing and you can go BTB. It just has to be with lures. So sign up before May 1st. Go on to Tourney X right now. If you don't already have an account, make an account and sign up for the Salty Yak Kayak Red Fishing Tournament. $50 entry fee, and you're in. Get that done like today before. Don't put it off any longer. Share it with your buddies. The more people we get into this, the funner it is to watch. See where everybody's on the leaderboard and that kind of thing. And the more that the top 5 places are going to pay. And that'll do it on that one. So we talked about all open water. So let's talk a little bit about, okay, maybe I can't find a big overslot redfish back in the marsh. So where can I go find it? Where do the big mature redfish live?
Hey, this time of year at the jetties and off that third bar, at least on the Texas coast, they're off that third bar.
They live there year round. That's where they live.
Yeah.
So
but they're active this time of year and they're hungry.
So if we're going to go out there now, like when I go BTB, I go out there and I take big chunks of fresh dead mullet and no weight, just let it float.
No, but you can't.
We're not.
Okay.
So
Okay,
I'm saying normally when I go out BTB fishing for big redfish, it's big chunks of fresh dead mullet.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So, but in the tournament, it's lures only.
A little more challenging.
It's a little bit more challenging. But so let's talk about going BTB with lures for big redfish and going jetty fishing with lures for big redfish. And you're the jetty expert, so take over.
Well, I have not fished jetties with the kayak yet.
Yeah.
I haven't done it. Now, I've spent my career and a lot of time out at the jetties. It's probably my favorite place to fish, starting about this time of year, starting right in May. And, I mean, just the big fish are there, whether it be redfish, speckled trout, whatever you want.
Jacks.
From now, a lot of jacks. From now on through August, the place is red hot.
Mm-hmm.
And for the Galveston area, and this is I've fished the jetties in Galveston, and I've fished the jetties in Okinawa, Japan. I've fished the jetties in Southern California, and it's pretty much the same either way, unless the wind just happens to be blowing exactly the same direction as the jetties coming out. You're going to have a calm side and you're going to have a rough side.
Mm-hmm.
Typically speaking, the rough side is the better side to fish. Now, it's not the most conducive thing to do when you're in a kayak. If you're in a 22-foot, Parker Big Bay, then you go to the rough side and just suck it up.
Yep.
You may not want to do that in a kayak. So the long and the short of it on the jetty is, depending on the direction of the tide, you're looking for those rocks and structures that are creating a whirlpool, or they're creating an eddy below the surface so that the predator fish can get behind them, reduce the amount of effort that they're having to stay in place, and they're watching for bait to drift by. So if you've got electronics on your boat, you're looking for basically where rocks have fallen down over the years and created a spot where they can hide. And then you want to cast above that and bring that thing over the top of that rock, whether it be a shrimp imitation or a paddle tail or whatever you're fishing. Most of it will work. I mean, they're all equally good, depending on what the fish are feeding on at that particular moment. And you want to find those spots, concentrate on that. And that's the one difference between the jetty fishing and the marsh fishing. If you find the conditions that are right, the fish will come to you on the jetties. So, I mean, they're moving up and down, all day long. So you find a spot that's got the right conditions and you concentrate on that spot and you sit there and you grind it out. And then eventually a school of fish is going to come out there and you might fish for an hour to 2 hours and not get a bite. And then all of a sudden in 5 casts, you've caught 3 studs or 5 studs, however many happens to be in that particular school before they run off. That's the way we did it. And I've done it with some success over the years. So I find the spots that have the conditions that I like, and I sit there and I'll grind it out. And sometimes it happens in 10 minutes. Sometimes it's not 2 hours, but regardless, they're going to come because that's what they're looking for.
What about talk to me about how important the tide is on the jetties.
I've always enjoyed fishing the jetties on a rising tide because it's bringing in the clearer water with you.
Okay.
And I like fishing the clearer water because there's always you always get that color change right there. And fish seem, especially the inshore species, they like to have the ability to see. So if you can find a color change, especially if there's a rip or something like that, where you've got stained water on one side and then a few inches over or a foot over, you've got clearer water. If you can fish the color changes on an incoming tide, because, the tide offshore tends to be clearer than the stuff coming out. So whenever the water's pouring out of the bays, you're getting dirty water coming out. Now you can still find the color changes. They're just a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
And they tend to be not quite as much. There's not as much of a difference. But when you're getting that incoming tide and you've got that clear water coming from offshore rushing into the bay, you'll have a significantly different color water on one side than you will on the other. You have muddy water over here, and you'll have water that you can see, 18 to 24 inches on the Texas coast and on the Louisiana coast, where you can really, okay, this is really, really clear water in comparison to that one. You throw that right there because the fish are sitting there waiting for the prey fish, whether they be mullet, maybe they be shrimp, maybe they be menhaden, whatever the case may be, because they can't see anything in that dirty water, and they'll sneak out from the dirty water into the clear water, and that's when they nail them. So fish that dirty or that color change, and that's where the fish tend to be.
So we've talked about fishing in the marsh, like if the marsh is dumping, that you want to cast like upstream and then bring the bait downstream. Same thing on when you're fishing the jetties.
Exactly.
So you want to fish, bring like it was a bait coming down the current.
Right. They're doing the exact same thing. The predator fish are always going to look for the least resistance that they can find, because they're trying. Their whole life is predicated on conservation of their energy. They wear themselves out, they become weak, and all of a sudden, guess what? They're prey. If they can't fight, if they can't run, then they're prey too. So they're looking to conserve themselves. Just like, think about the salmon that are coming up the rivers and stuff like that. They'll find places where there's eddies in the water, they can rest. Redfish and speckled trout are going to do the exact same thing. They'll hide behind those rocks that are popped out from the edges of the jetties that's creating an eddy. And they can just sit there, and with minimal tail movement, they can stay in one spot. And as soon as they see a tasty little morsel cross over their head, they'll jump up and grab it. And if your bait happens to be in that spot when they're there, they're going to eat it. I don't care if it's a paddle tail. I don't care if it's a shrimp imitation. I don't care if it's a mirror lure. They're going to eat it because they're looking for the easiest meal that they can get.
Are you over there like registering on turning eggs?
Yes, I am, and I'm having a problem with putting it in my birth date for whatever reason. That's why I keep. You
don't remember how old you are?
No, I do, but it won't let me. It's not working right. I've got everything else put in, and I don't know if I'm doing.
It's because you're too old.
Is that what it is?
It's what it is. You're too old.
I've been told the app sometimes.
Yeah,
it is hard to maneuver.
That's the only thing I'm stuck on. I got.
So you might have to wait till you go home and do it online.
Let me flip it over.
So you got any jetty advice for us?
Not really, because I haven't really fished the jetties.
Other than don't fall out of your kayak.
Don't fall out of your kayak.
Don't jump out of the kayak and take a poop.
Don't do that either.
That's a bad thing.
That's not a good place to do it. But no, I haven't done a lot of. To be honest, I haven't really done a lot of jetty fishing.
I guess it was rollover pass, so it really wasn't a jetty.
That wasn't really. Yeah, that was more of a pass. But
the current's the same though.
Yeah. Let's talk about safety, okay? So we've talked a lot about the jetties. So like Roger mentioned, there's going to be a smooth side and a rough side.
Right.
And us as kayakers, if it's too rough, stay on the smooth side. So, but things we need to think about. If you're going to go BTB, or if you're even going out to the jetties, you need to know what the waves are going to be. Mm-hmm. Wind finder. That's my go-to. I go to it and look on the map, and it's got all the little points you can click on where the measuring stations are. You click on them, it'll give you a forecast. I think it gives you like a 14-day forecast. But we all know how the weathermen are. They're not going to get it right on day 14. No. 2 days out, 1 day out, they're probably pretty close. But what are we looking for? We're looking for less than 2 foot to go BTB. And the longer the intervals are, the better, because the smoother it's going to be. But same thing if you're going to the jetties. If it's 4 foot on that one side, you don't want to be on that side.
Absolutely not, because you're not going to be able to comfortably fish. You're not going to be able to safely fish.
Yeah, let's talk. So if I'm going to go fish the jetties, or if I'm going to go fish BTB, what safety equipment do I need to have with me?
Life jacket.
Got to have the light. Got to have your PFD.
Yeah, that's number one.
That's
Number
number
one.
one.
So what else would you want to take?
Marine radio.
Yes, if you got a VHF marine radio, that would be a good thing to have with you.
Flare gun.
A flare gun?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if I actually know people who have gotten into trouble out at the jetties and had to fire their flare gun and had somebody come to their rescue and save their butt.
Well, we all know what it means. You see the flare, it's got pretty bad.
Yeah.
Take a buddy.
Yeah.
I would not recommend doing either one of those, BTB or the jetties, without a partner.
Right.
So, but, I'm probably, if I'm going to go fish the jetties, I'm probably going, or BTB, past the third sandbar, looking for those big redfish. We're talking artificial bait here. I'm probably going to troll. On the beachfront, I'm going to be, as I'm driving down the beachfront, I'm going to be looking for where those pelicans stop. Yeah. And that's where I'm going to stop, and that's where I'm going to put in. But I'm probably going to be trolling either probably a 1 ounce jig head with a 3 or 4 inch gulp curly tail on the end of it, or I've got some 1 ounce big old rattle traps that I used to catch a freshwater redfish on. So something along that's probably what I'm going to end up just trolling up and down the beach or up and down the jetties. Like you talked about, your depth finder, especially on the jetties, finding those rocks and finding those things. If you don't have one, if you need an excuse to get one, hey, honey, I'm in this fishing tournament. I'm going to go fish the jetties and catch a big bull red, and I need a fish finder.
Right.
So whatever you need to look on that one.
A 3/4 ounce gold spoon is another good.
There you
choice.
go. Yeah.
Out there on that third bar, if you can run that up and down the third bar, that's a good bet.
And this probably goes without saying, but I mean, on any trip, whether you're going there or the marsh, or wherever, everything has to be tied down.
Oh yeah.
And I mean,
especially if you're going BTB and you're going to go out, you're going to take water over the front of your kayak. Unless it is just, remember that day we fished a rollover where we walked out there?
Completely smooth. That doesn't happen very often.
That doesn't happen very often. If it's 1 foot, 1.5 foot, you're going to have to paddle and crash a couple of waves to get out past that third bar. And so everything needs to be tied down. That's where I love the PA, because I will put the rods in the rod holders on my way out. And I've got everything inside hatches on the way out. So once I get out there, then it'd take a few minutes to get everything set up like I want to. But on the way out there, I don't have got everything tied down and put away. And then on the way back too, because that's the real trouble spot. So going out through the waves,
going out and coming back.
Yeah, you just go nose first into them, push through, not that big a deal.
Yeah, and you can see it coming. You know when it's coming. On the way in, you don't know exactly when it's coming.
Well, and you don't want to have to be distracted by anything. You know what I mean? So that if you're just tight, you don't have to worry about anything about getting through the waves and getting back.
Now, there is a way to come back in. They call the Paris Hilton, which you come in backwards. So you actually point your bow offshore, and you just kind of keep your bow pointed offshore, and you just kind of let them push you backwards all the way to the beach. If you go in nose first, you got to be really careful, because some of them waves will pick you up, and it's like surfing, and they will take that big pro angler, and if it gets you sideways, it's done. It's done. You are rolling over, and away you go. So anything that's sticking up or sticking out is going to, if your drive's not leashed in, you can lose it. So you've got to be really, really careful when you're coming back in. The BTB or the jetties, most places on the jetties, you can launch in calm water and come back in calm water. You're not launching off the beach. A lot of them there's a boat ramp somewhere in there.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that transition area where the waves are going to kick your butt, because you can get into a protected area and get out of the waves. And the one at the base of the North Jetty is perfect. I mean, you can launch a boat there, so you can certainly launch a kayak.
I've launched my kayak there several times.
Yeah.
So, and something else to think about when you're jetty fishing, you're fishing next to a rock. So what's going to happen?
You're going to the rock.
You're going to get hung up. You're going to lose stuff. So don't go out there with, you have one favorite rattle trap, and because there's a pretty good chance you might hang up on a rock and you might lose it. So you'll get hung up on stuff.
If you don't get hung up at the jetties, you ain't fishing right.
There you go. Exactly right. Exactly right. So talking about tournament fishing, we'll parlay that off of our online tournament into team tournament fishing. Now, y'all two have been teammates for a couple team tournaments. So let's talk about strategies you can use and implement when you have a teammate to work with in a tournament. So let me just hear y'all's thoughts on that.
Well, the greatest thing about being able to having a teammate is because you can stay within sight of each other and you can fish different areas. You can fish different, like let's say, our little secret honey hole where we like to go fishing. I can fish a drain, and I can see if there's fish coming in there, if the fish we're looking for are there, where my partner, Robert there, he can go up into the marsh and he can see if he can find them up there. We can communicate with each other and say, okay, well, I'm finding this right here. What are you finding over there? And I can say, well, I'm getting this. If I'm getting something better, or if he's getting something better, we can actually, we can take that information into consideration, and we can move and go to where the fish are. Especially the fish that we're looking for. And then specifically in most of the tournaments we're looking for the upper slot redfish. So if they're not where I'm at and he's finding them where he's at, it's so much easier for two people to do that than it is for one person.
Yeah, I like the fact that you can just cover more water. And the other thing I think that's cool too, and there's no egos involved. I mean, we're team, we're working together for the most part. So we stay out of each other's way for the most part, and we communicate if something's looking good. Or
you're saying for the most part.
For the most part, it just depends.
Is there times that like Roger has gotten your way?
No, never has.
Have you gotten his way?
I don't think so. I think we've been pretty good about that.
Well, he kicked my butt the last time we were over there.
This is true.
Because we're fishing side by side, and they wanted his bait, and they didn't want mine.
Well, and here's the thing, too, on that deal, right? Because you were heading back.
I was I'm done.
Again,
Screw
a good
this.
partner, I said, no, come back. They're here. You know what I mean? So, I could have easily just said, okay, I'll see you at the top. But I didn't. That's not how you do it.
Let's, we get to cover more water. We get that. Mm-hmm. So what makes it fun doing a team tournament with your buddy?
That's part of the fun part.
You're
right
fishing
there.
with your buddy, right?
Yeah, that's
fishing
fun.
with my friend.
Yeah.
We get to share information. We get to enjoy the catch. We get to enjoy the competition.
Even if he's catching it, you still get a little joy out of it.
Yeah, but and the other thing too is, like on that last deal, I really wanted you to catch two fish too. You know what I mean? It wasn't like a one-sided kind of thing, which was cool.
But you kind of mentioned it too. You uplift your partner. If your partner's, he's having a bad day, he's lost one, or he ain't caught none. You have somebody else there. You don't get into your own mind so much. Mm-hmm. You got somebody there to say, "Hey, snap out of it, knucklehead. I'm getting bites over here. Come over here. Let's fish over here."
Mm-hmm. Well, even at that, you get some satisfaction out of your partner succeeding.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So it is, like the last one we were just referring to. He was catching all the slot reds. I was catching everything undersized. I still got joy and enjoyment out of him catching those good fish and placing in the tournament, even though I didn't.
Yeah,
So I got some, vicarious success from him.
And the other thing too, and I've mentioned this before too, even though I caught the fish, I still felt like we caught the fish, and we caught the fish as the Salty Yak I'm serious.
Yeah.
That's right. I felt really good about that.
I agree completely.
We represented the whole team.
No,
So.
we were really needing you, El Jefe, for the One Fish Wonder.
Oh man, I was in Yosemite having a great time.
Yeah, we were down, 20+ mph winds. We needed some guidance, and we needed somebody to come up with that 9-pound redfish and win first place because Nicholas, all he could do was get tied for fourth.
Is that what it worked out to be?
He tied
Good
for
for
fourth, and I was dead ass last.
We know that.
So anyway, yeah, I got my
You know,
trophy over here somewhere.
It was cool. You didn't even have to tell me that. I saw both fish, and I was able to determine who got last. And I'm like, I know you got last. What place did Nicholas take?
So he ended up tying for fourth on
Good
that.
for him.
So, let me throw this at y'all. So you're fishing as a team in a team tournament, and you're not catching any. When do you decide to make a move? What's your thoughts on when? Okay, let's move.
Well, when fishing a particular area, say if I'm looking at a drop off or a ledge or something like that, and if I've fished there for an hour and haven't got a bite, that's a clue. You need to move on from that, especially if you're not seeing the bait, you're not seeing birds, any kind of activity and stuff like that. You never know exactly when the fish are going to turn on. So tides have a lot to do with it when it comes to the inshore type of fish. But if you're fishing on a particular area and you know that the tide's not going to make a change within a particular amount of time or a specific amount of time, and you've tried that area for an hour and you've thrown several different types of baits, several different color combinations, and a few different presentations. If you haven't got anything within that time, probably time to move on. Check something else. Go shallower, go deeper, whatever the case may be. Try something different at that point.
So you're saying you give it about an hour.
Give
or take.
Now, if I know that there's going to be a tide change within that time, I might adjust that. But if I know that the tide's going to be the same as what I'm fishing right now, and I've done all the things that I believe are going to elicit a bite at that point, and I'm not getting anything, then I'm going to try something different. I'll come back when the tide changes, but at that point, no, I'm going to go do something different.
So on this last tournament, you fished that spot that morning.
Right off the bat, just about.
And nothing.
So I went one way, Roger went another way. But and that was the other thing I was going to add was knowing the systems of where we were at and the different spots that we would go. I went one way, Roger went one way, and then coming back, again, Roger still hit that spot another 3 or 4 times. Mm-hmm. And it was like, how about one more time? So
that's a case where you knew the fish were there, or you felt really, really confident that the fish were there.
Well, only because I didn't get anything anywhere else where we would have normally have gone. Right?
Yeah. So we tried everything. We went up in the bayous.
Let me try one more time, And
it was just a question of waiting them out.
Right.
We needed to, and we fished that for a long time. Mm-hmm. And I guess the tide just got right at some point, at that point. And I'd almost given up at that moment. I was like, all right, I'm tired of fighting this. Mm-hmm. I'm just done. And then right as I sent that text over to him, said, okay, I'm headed this way. He's like, oh no, wait. I got one.
And you're right. It was rough. It was hard to fish, but we figured it out. And it was worth
immediately upon setting the hook on a fish, if you stopped pedaling, you went straight to the shore. Mm-hmm. It was pushing you in there big time.
Yeah.
So I went back there and fished that spot the other day. Tide water was low again, low. And I hooked something, broke me off. Like I had to show y'all the video. Just like it's one of those where he picked it up. Mm-hmm. And he's running to me. And so as I'm reeling down to it, as about the time I catch up to him, he comes past the kayak and you see the line go tight. And it just I guess I had a weak spot in the braid.
Yeah.
Which I have since. I've replaced all the braid on my casting reels before this next tournament. But he just broke off. So I'm thinking probably a good sized redfish.
Yep.
So anything else on what you think about teams? I love doing the team. Of course, I like doing, a lot of times I'm doing it with Nicholas. Yeah. So it's a father-son thing.
Yeah, the father-son thing would be great. I wish I could get mine out of school to where we could do that sort of thing.
School's important, so he needs to, hopefully, there'll be times when he want to go kayak fishing with Dad.
But yeah, I would enjoy that too.
Now that we have an extra kayak and a couple extra kayaks.
Yeah.
Well, the Hobie family has been growing.
Well, the coverage thing, like we mentioned before, I think is a big deal. But also, he's using different baits. I'm using.
There you go.
We're going back and forth. Hey, I'm using this color.
Yeah, you're basically doubling up your abilities.
Doubling up your ability. Yeah, that's big.
Somebody's really good with the Miradine, and somebody's really good with the paddle tail, or somebody's you can play to each other's strengths.
Absolutely.
So that's another whole facet of this thing. It's fun to fish with your buddies. You can cover more area. You get just as much excitement and joy out of, seeing your buddy catch a fish and have success. And then, play to each other's strengths. So, I guess probably I would prefer to fish team tournaments.
I like it.
But, they all can't be team tournaments, I guess. So, I'm good with that. So,
but doesn't mean we can't still fish together. You know what I mean?
Well,
that's still, there's an element of it, even when you're on your own.
Well, that's what we talked about on the other podcast that we did before this one. Like we pre-fished on Friday for One Fish Wonder. And I remember Roger's like, are we sharing this information with everybody else?
Well, I didn't want to give away anything that he wasn't willing to give away, because I was willing to share it. But I had found what I thought was the fish that we were looking for. And I was like, okay, how open are we going to be with this?
And like I told him, I said, we're going to share. We're going to tell everything. Yeah, because that's what the whole thing is about. We got to go look at 4 different areas and kind of have an idea of what was going to happen. Now, tournament day, we were fishing in pairs, but you're on your own.
Yeah.
Because that day, it's 20 plus mile per hour winds, just for safety's sake. You need to be within eyesight of somebody else, just in case you flip your kayak or something like that.
And we actually had somebody that got caught up and flipped their kayak during that time. Actually, it was the day before, but regardless, it was the same conditions.
Yep.
So we, and he had somebody there with him and was able to help him out, and it was not a big deal. But if he'd have been by himself, that could have been a problem.
Yeah.
The thing about sharing though too is, it's just like in the last tournament, I think Adrian was asking me where we were, and I'd be happy to share with anybody in the Salty Yak pack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
It was funny because I told him, I said, hey, we'll take you out there sometime. You know what I mean? So nothing wrong with that.
It's a family.
Yeah, and, absolutely.
And I've heard that before. A couple things here. I've had people comment to me that, hey, y'all's group is the most friendliest group that I've been around or I've been a part of, as far as the internet Facebook groups. And then, because we're just not a Facebook group. I mean, we're a group of guys, girls to get together and go fishing together. So we're a little bit more than that. The other thing is this gentleman here sitting to my right. I have had several people tell me that guy right there knows a lot about fishing.
Just a little bit.
A lot. And I've had multiple comments about Roger going, that guy right there, you need to listen. When he speaks, maybe we need to change his name. E.F. Hutton?
Something like that.
He speaks, you should listen.
That might age us a little bit.
I know. When you started talking about the jetty fishing and you went into breaking it down, I was like, I got nothing to help you there with. I've been to the jetties, but
I know what they are. There's some rocks.
There's some rocks there, and there's one side that's rough, one side's calm. I got that, but no, he knows a lot what he's talking about.
Like I said, I've had more than one person say, hey.
I've been doing it for a minute or two.
That might be why, he's my go-to partner.
Well, hey, there you go. Saying. There might be, it's like a good girlfriend. You got to hang on to him, treat him right.
Treat him right.
There's always somebody looking to steal him.
Right. You heard me in the kitchen earlier. I like his cooking too.
Well, that's why we bring him along on these trips, is because of his cooking skills.
There you go.
So, moving on from team strategies. So we are in the middle of Texas spring, which is cold fronts. Or say cold, they're not really a cold. It's a cool front.
It's a wind change.
It's a wind change, and sometimes it gets a little cooler. But it just jacks about every 7 days. It seems like we're in a pattern. We're getting
every damn Saturday is what it is. Every damn Saturday.
So, so I was looking at the extended forecast for the Matagorda Island trip, it actually looked like we were going to get some sustained, nice, not hot, but nice sunny weather
with no mosquitoes. Wow.
Well, no, I didn't say that, but
the weatherman don't do mosquitoes.
Yeah,
I'm
we'll
just
have
saying.
to. The wind was like the wind was like 15 to 16.
Yeah.
So that would keep
That's a
mosquitoes
good
off.
thing,
Yeah,
yeah.
it'll keep mosquitoes off of you.
That's enough. Yeah.
But we'll get to the Matagorda Island trip here in a second. But let's just a little talk about right around the corner in a flip of a switch. It can be hotter than Hades here. And so you're thinking, hey, yeah, it's nice 70-degree weather, and we'll go fishing. And you show up, and you get out there, and it's 90-plus degrees. So let's just take a few minutes and talk about, let's be prepared for that hot day when it shows up. So just like the Matagorda Island trip, what's probably the number one thing? The number one thing that I think of?
Water.
Exactly. You got to have some water.
There's a lot of things that are ranked together.
But let's start with water, because you got to have water.
You got to have water.
If you've got, as long as you've got water, no matter what happens, you're going to survive.
Yeah, you don't live very long without water.
Yeah, water's the one thing that you must absolutely have. You can go for a long time without, especially in our conditions. You can go for a long time without some
What do you mean?
We have reserves, is what I mean. We have reserves.
Yeah, we'll be okay.
I could probably use a little bit of that, but water is the one thing that you must have all the time.
Yep.
Yeah,
and without it, you're in trouble.
You don't have enough, and the first thing you start doing is, this is a physical exercise activity that we do with our kayak fishing. So first thing you start notice is you start cramping. And sometimes there's no coming back from that. You get cramped up and you're just done. There's nothing you can do to fix it.
Yeah. And if you're out there that far away from help or from land, you got a problem.
Yeah. You got a real problem. So hydration, take some water with you, whether you take it in a thermos, whether you take it in your ice chest, whatever, just look at the weather forecast and have some water with you. The other part of that, this is a physical activity. You need to be replenishing your reserves. You need to have some snacks.
Food.
Need to have some snacks.
Sure.
Yeah.
Y'all know mine. I love a payday.
I know. You turned me on to the payday. That was one of my first initiations to the Salty Yak Pack. Like, that's brilliant. That works perfectly. Protein. It's got carbohydrates. It's got sugar in it. Yeah. It's got everything you need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it tastes great.
I can't take credit for that, but it's it doesn't melt. So hey.
Exactly.
But you got water, some snacks, and invariably you will go out there the first time about this time of year, and you'll forget your sunscreen, and you will burn like a lobster.
Yeah. Well, and I was going to say clothing too. I mean, just typically when we fish anyways, we're long sleeve pants.
I'm all about,
but, and then you can strip down if it,
I'm all,
well,
sorry.
Visual image there that we don't need to go into.
I'm all about the physical barrier.
Yeah.
The long sleeve shirt, the sun gaiter, a hat, pants.
Yep.
I'm all about the physical barrier.
So much more effective than just simple
sunscreen. Yeah, you need more than just that.
Yeah, sometimes you need to put it on your face, know, and whether it's, we all know it, but I'm going to say it anyway. It doesn't have to be sunny to get a sunburn. You can get the worst sunburn on a cloudy day.
I've got a buddy that I met this last week on one of my trips, and one thing I was complaining about is I don't like the sunscreen getting in my eyes. Bugs the heck out of me. And he recommended some stuff, and I'm gonna get some for us. It's called Coola.
Coola,
really? Coola, and supposedly it's not real like greasy or oily. It dries fast and it doesn't irritate your eyes. So I'm looking to try that.
Let us know.
I will. Yeah.
Let's get a report on that.
We'll give a report.
So you got to have. Just, it's getting close to that time of year. We're going to have some warm days. And then somebody gave us another little tip. I haven't done it, but at first I was like, but then I'm like, I don't know. Take an umbrella.
Yeah.
Have an umbrella, stowed away there in your kayak.
I've actually seen some kayaks that actually have an attachment on the back
cover,
so that they can actually pop the umbrella open and stick it in a hole. And depending on how you're positioned, it keeps you in play, or it keeps you in the shade. Now, down here, with the wind, it could act as a sail. It could be a problem.
It might be good. Or bad.
But if you were pulled over on the side and you were going to eat some lunch, have a snack,
A little cover.
you could pop up because where we're in the marsh, there is no shade.
There's no trees.
There's no trees to get under. There's no nothing.
Yeah.
Sawgrass does not make good shade.
No.
So an umbrella could certainly could have some advantage, but it also you could be chasing it across the marsh too.
Yeah. And if you're new to kayak fishing, you're going to be tempted to take off those shoes and pedal or paddle your kayak barefooted. That's all good and fine. But I don't know if you've ever got a sunburn on top of your feet. Yeah. It's one of the most painful that there is.
So right along that, and it's got to be the angles of the sun when they hit you. So when you're sitting down in that kayak in shorts, the top of your thighs are just evidently the perfect reflective angle from the sun, because you will burn to a crisp on the top of your thighs.
Done it.
And the top of your feet.
Done it. And like most fishermen that love doing what they're doing, you forget, you don't even want to stop to put on, you know what I mean? You want to do anything.
When the fish are biting.
You don't even want to stop. So,
or not even when they're not biting. I'm trying to catch fish, I
might miss an opportunity, you know?
So if you're new to kayaking, highly, highly recommend long pants. I like the pants where I can zip the legs off and put them back on so I can have short. I can get some sun on my legs if I want. But Roger's told, now like when we go to the Matagorda Island trip, when I get in the kayak, the shoes come off. But I also know as soon as my feet are dry, I put my sun protection on the top of my feet.
Yeah.
Because it's sand there. Where we fish down here in Galveston, Freeport, I leave my shoes on because you just never know when
a little bit of oyster, and
you
don't know what's going to happen.
Some moisture.
Yeah.
So much oyster and so much soft, so much soft.
That's
silk.
the other thing too. Yeah.
But I just know so many people that have been doing what I've been doing for as long as I've been doing, and I don't know one of them that doesn't have some level of skin cancer.
Yeah. There you go.
I mean, I got friends that got missing parts of their ears and stuff, and I was like, no, I don't need that, so I'm just covering up. At this point in my life, I don't care about being tan anymore. I just want to not have cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah, tanned, wrinkly, flabby skin just still doesn't look
attractive.
Good. It's not attractive.
It's not.
It's better to have it, covered up.
Yep.
So I'm all about that.
I'll stay with the white.
Yeah. I'll go with the farmer's tan.
Yep. I'm good with that.
I'm good with that. But, I do like my legs to be tan. So I'm just saying. Maybe I'm a little. So let's talk Matagorda Island trip. So I'm
excited.
Man,
excited.
What are we like? Today's the 20.
Like 7 days away.
Yeah. Today's Sunday.
7 and some change.
So how about 6 and a wake up?
There you go.
6 and a wake up.
I like that.
Yeah.
Takes me back to my Marine Corps days. 6 and a wake up, baby.
We're going to be pulling out on Monday morning down here. So as of right now, we're leaving Monday, May 3rd, and we're going to come back on Wednesday, May 5th. But somebody asked today what time we were going to get back. And generally, for those that are listening who are going on the trip, Wednesday, we will probably be back, depending on how much fishing you do on the way back, between noon and 2 p.m.
Yeah.
So
I would have said 2. Yeah. 2's a good time.
So I think the first year we were back in Houston by about 5. So, but something because usually, I think the last time that we did it, did we stop somewhere and had dinner on the way home?
I think so. And we would have been back sooner too if that storm didn't roll in, I think.
Well, we needed the shower.
Well, we needed that. But that's
this here is a hot tip just for the people going on the trip that listen to the podcast. Hot tip. Keep a clean set of shorts and a clean shirt and maybe a towel and or washcloth, because there is a bathroom, an outside bathroom there at Porto Cana Fishing Center, where it's got a sink in there, so you can go in there and take a little sponge bath right quick, get cleaned up, put on some fresh clothes for the ride home.
Yep. So, and a small thing that you can buy at Walgreens of baby powder.
Oh,
that's a wonderful addition. It just makes the world a whole lot better.
Where do you put it?
All the rubbing together parts. Anything that touches.
It helps.
If you can put it there, put it there. It improves things.
What if, maybe we'll get to there, maybe we won't. All right. So that's when we're leaving. That's when we're coming back. As of right now, actually, I have I had 22, but somebody has said they were going, and then they said they couldn't go, and now they're back to going. So 23 kayaks right now in a boat.
That's pretty awesome, man. That's an incredible increase from the last time, and it's geometric.
We're going to have a really good time.
Yeah, it's going to be a blast.
12 tents, 11 hammocks. One still didn't know what he's doing. So
he'll figure it out.
He'll figure it out. So,
mosquito repellent.
Yep.
In respect to that, I just went and got my my newest thermocell,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to buy some spares, some refills and stuff like that.
I got a bunch of spares. Yeah,
thermocells are the real deal.
I tell you what, I've used those in deer hunting, and I never really thought about them. I guess I thought about them a little bit, but on those calm mornings when the mosquitoes are just bombing you and they're licking off the 100% DEET that you got on,
just loving it.
That thermocell pushes them away. It pushes them away. I had it in my kayak the other morning, and I had no mosquitoes on me or around, but I had, on or around me, and it just kept them pushed away.
Well, I've got a new one to try. So
now, I don't think we'll be sleeping with, because, it runs off butane. So there's a heat source in it. So you don't want to be snuggled up with it.
Right.
So I'm just saying. So, but yeah, that's, I got those. I'm trying to think. My solar charger came in. I got a solar panel, so I can charge my batteries. So I can recharge the radios, and so I can recharge my GoPro stuff. I got my little mountain house there for that. I think I've got my list. I need to go through it, but that's the thing. We're fishing the tournament on Saturday, so that gives me Sunday to make sure I got everything packed up, because we're going to leave Monday morning. So. Any more thoughts or things about the Matagorda Island? Because it is here.
That's crazy.
I'm just extremely excited. This will be my first one, because I missed the last one because of mechanical failures.
Mm-hmm.
So I was very disappointed that I wasn't able to make that one. I missed the big top water bite with the big redfish. That was pretty awesome. So I'm looking forward to making my own memories.
This is going to be
own stuff.
This is going to be interesting with this many people, because like the last time, like we would all. There's only 3 of us, right? So we all went the same direction to fish, right? And then we would kind of spread out. And then like the next day we would go the opposite direction. Well, with 20
plus
22 kayakers, we're going to have to all right, half of y'all go that way, half of y'all go that way. Tomorrow we'll flip flop. We'll have to do something like that. But there's all kinds of water to fish. I mean,
you can fish all day. Even with that many people, I don't think we're going to be in a position where we're having to worry about fishing over the top of each other and stuff like that. I think we're going to have plenty of room.
I'm just waiting for some of these boats to come rolling through here and go, holy crap, where'd all these damn kayaks come from?
I know. That's going to be
We don't ever see kayaks out this way. How the hell, where'd these damn kayaks come from?
How'd they get out here?
That'll be fun. Yeah. Moving on to Yak News. So we didn't, I say we as a group, we didn't get to go to the fishing, the Houston fishing show. We were too busy fishing in a tournament, so didn't go there. But we have a chance to redeem ourselves. So May 21st and 22nd, Fishing Tackle Unlimited Salesman Sample Sale. Now, Robert, do you like this one?
I'm going.
You're going again?
I might even get in line right now.
So you went last year.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about it.
It was a good experience. I mean, I don't know. I think I waited till, because it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? Or something like that.
I think it's always Friday, Saturday.
Right. Or Friday, Saturday. So I didn't go till Saturday. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I should have went Friday, but there were still good deals and great things to be had going Saturday. So I don't know if I'll switch it up and go earlier this year or not, but the other thing too, there's just a lot of things you wouldn't think wouldn't be there are there.
Well, Captain Scott Knoll had talked about how, like, when he was a rep doing stuff that they would give him, like in the fall, he had camping stuff.
Yeah.
And so there was stuff other than just fishing stuff there.
Right. It wasn't just fishing stuff. There was other stuff.
So that is May 21st and 22nd, which is a Friday and a Saturday, from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Now you can do a double dipper on this one, because you can go to that. You can go to the FTU Salesman Sample Sale, and then right after that, you can finish that. You got any money left in your pocket, you run down to the Galveston County Fishing and Outdoor Expo.
Oh.
So they did one here last quarter, I guess, maybe January, February.
Mhm.
So they're doing it again. So from what I got from the first one, didn't get to make that one either, but people loved it. Absolutely loved it. So this one is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Okay.
So Friday is 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday is 9 to 7, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. And Sunday is 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So on Friday and Saturday, you can go to both of them. So
Cool.
that's
Sweet.
it's a weekend that I work, but I think I'm actually probably going to take Saturday off and go do it because I need to go down there and be fun to visit with a lot of these people that I've been talking to. So, the other thing on here, Saltwater Soul Shore Patrol is getting fired up again. So if you don't know what this is a group that got started where they pick certain areas down in the Galveston area and they organize a beach or jetty or marsh cleanup. So the next one is May 16th. I don't know where it's going to be yet. I don't know when it's going to be. So go to the Saltwater Soul, like SOUL, Shore Patrol on their Facebook. Follow them there and you'll get the updates. And we're going to see how many of the Salty Yak pack we can get out there and help them do some cleanup. So maybe we can do some cleanup and then maybe go fishing.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Sounds good.
Heck yeah.
So, the other thing here, other big change, it was the CCA Star Tournament. So we all know that we're not doing trout, we're not doing flounder, we're not doing any of that. So they've changed how they're doing the tag redfish. So here's what I got for you. So let me look at this. So they're releasing, so every year they would release 60 tagged redfish. And the first five that were caught got the boat in the truck. So they're still doing that. Still releasing 60 that are red tags. And the red tags, the first 5, truck and boat combinations. The next 5 get just boat combination, just the boat. It's still a Haney, right? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, don't complain about that.
So the next category, they're going to release a minimum, they didn't say, at least 30 blue tags. The blue tags, the first 3 blue tags that are caught, get a 22-foot Mowdy boat. So if you catch, after those 3 are gone, the next 6, $750 Academy gift card.
I could put that to some use.
I could do some damage with that. So that's blue tags. So they're going to release at least another 30 green tags. Green tags, the first 3 green tags, I think it's a 18 or 19 foot shoal water boat is what you get.
Wow. That's pretty sweet too.
Yeah. And after the 3 boats are gone, the next 6, $750 Academy gift card.
Okay.
So
I'm already in. So
you look at 5, 6, 7, 8, 11 boats. If you catch one of the first ones that are catching one of the tags. So those are the changes to the CCA Star Tournament Redfish Tournament.
Well, I kind of think I like this better.
Yeah, well, you don't have to worry about it. And so there's a couple caveats here. You need to go and read the rules for yourself. But number 1, the fish you remove the tag off the fish and you have to release the fish. You cannot keep it. Have to release the fish. Number 2, you have to report catching the tag within 24 hours. So and there's some other rules, but those were the 2 big ones that hit me. That you have to release the fish, and number 2 is you've got to report within 24 hours. So
now I've never caught one. So, but I mean,
I caught a tag
you
trout
cut
one
it out,
time,
or
but
does it just come straight out, or you know what I mean?
you have to clip it off.
Just clip, because isn't it like in on the top, like
It's
below
like,
the fin?
no, it's just like poked in on a barb. So you would just cut it as close as you could.
Okay.
To the scales.
Okay, because I gave a little bit of the chicken eye on that one because when he was saying, I'm like, okay, they probably need to give some instructions on how to remove that, because you won't just rip it out.
No,
if you rip it out, you're going to kill the fish.
Probably.
Yeah, if you look at if you go and read the rules, it tells you, to clip it off.
Because I have not read the rules in respect to that. It's like, okay, I hope that they cover that in a little bit more detail. Yeah. This is how you remove this, because if you just pull it out, you're going to kill the fish.
So tell us about this tag trout.
It wasn't a CCA tag trout. Okay. It was a Texas A&M tag trout.
So they were just for like research.
Yeah. So I just I caught it over there at 103rd Street, the spot we've been before. I caught one over there. I wrote down the tag number when I had to actually use the jig head in my Cajun keeper, which I was pulling behind me at the time because I was wade fishing. So I had scratched the number into the top of the Cajun keeper, so I'd had it. And they had here's this is Texas A&M research stuff. Please call if captured. So I called them and I gave them the tag number, and it turns out it'd only been like 4 months since they released the fish. So nothing had changed.
We tagged it yesterday, and we tagged it right there off 103rd Street.
Yeah.
So.
They didn't tell me exactly where they tagged it at or where they released it at, but they just said it was 4 months.
Yeah.
4 months ago, we tagged the fish 4 months ago. So, and I told them it was only like a 16-inch trout.
Yeah.
So they tagged it, and it was like 15 inches. And
so you took it home and cooked it?
Yeah. So you ate it and then went home.
Well, I didn't tell them that part. They didn't want to know that part. But no, I actually released the fish because I didn't know the significance of the tag at the time. There was a little blue tag that was coming out from behind the dorsal fin. I caught it. I was like, okay, well, I should write this down. I did the best that I could at the time, and they said, okay, well, thank you. We appreciate the information, and that was about it.
We were with Luke and the group, and we were out by one of the oil rigs, and we caught a fish like that. God, I can't remember if it was a grouper or what it was, and it was at like a school back, like in Carolina or something. It was a trip. You know what I mean? Obviously, it stood out because it had a plastic.
Mark.
It's pretty obvious. Yeah. And so, and Luke contacted him and let him know that we caught it. And that we killed it right there on the boat and ate it raw. No, we let him go. But I mean, it was kind of interesting, so.
No, I never caught a tagfish. I've shot a banded duck, but I've never caught a tagfish.
That's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah. Moving on from there. So we've talked about on the podcast before, we don't have any sponsors. And main reason for that is we want to be absolutely 100% transparent with anything you hear us recommend. Nobody's paying us. Nobody's giving us product. Nobody's giving us 20% off to be on a pro staff to promote their stuff. So when we tell you we like something, 100%, this is what we spending our money on, and this is what we like. Now, you've heard us talk, about multiple things about what we like and what we recommend. So we do have our first promo code now. So this is something I have been using for a long time, and I recommend it all the time. Anytime I see somebody doing GoPro footage and they're still using like the chest mount or something like that. And this is the action hat. And you see me use it. I use it all. I'm on my second one, and it's not extra. I bought one hat, but now when that hat got so ratty, I was able to take the mount out of that hat. That's the way he designs it. That's the way Rex designs it. So you can take that and put it on another hat, or you can just buy the mounting kit and put it on your favorite hat. Doesn't matter. So, when we were at the Saltwater Survival Series, one of my guys that I work with, he's starting a YouTube channel. He doesn't have an action hat. And I was telling him, dude, you got to get an action hat. So I was talking to Rex about this, and I was texting with the guy trying to get him to tell me which one he wanted, and I was going to buy it for him. And Rex walks over and says, hey, here's a promo code for all the Salty Yak, 15% off, not on just action hats, but any of his t-shirts, any of his, Live Live Now, outside, any of his t-shirts that you go to the website, 15% off. The promo code, this is really hard to remember now. Salty Yak. Really hard to remember. But so if you go to the Action Hat website, whether you get an action hat or whether you get some of his shirts, some of his t-shirts, any of that, Salty Yak, and you get 15% off.
Is it case sensitive or is it
I don't think so.
Lowercase or it doesn't matter?
No. So appreciate Rex. Shout out to you, buddy, for doing that. I mean, I didn't ask for it. He just gave it to us. And he is, you see, I got a lot of his shirts. The first time I met him, I was wearing one of his shirts, which is kind of funny. But absolutely love the guy. Love giving him some support, and he's shown us some support by giving us a 15% off promo code. Salty Yak, anything on the Action Hat website. Thank you, Rex. So y'all are doing a little bit better, but we're still not. We haven't reached my goal. We only have 93 ratings right now. I'm looking for 100. I'm looking for, now we did get a really good review. He gave us, it was a really good 4-star review, and he laid it down. He's like, "Hey guys, I love it." He goes, "But sometimes y'all sound like it's very unorganized." And I'm thinking to myself, I guess there's some podcasts we do like that, but that's intentional. Like we did the group at the,
they're kind of organic.
Yeah, it's just kind of grows like that. But no, we have, I have notes.
There's a script a little bit.
There is a little bit of a script. Now, sometimes it's like chasing cats, depending on who we have and doing the podcast. But there is a script. But hey, I appreciate you giving me a good. He said he loved us. Would love to go fishing.
It's constructive criticism.
Drink a beer with us. Yeah. But he gave us some good constructive criticism. So I'm looking for 100 ratings, guys and gals. 100. There's this thing, our podcast is downloaded over 500 times every time I put one up. Within the first 24 hours, 500 downloads. Come on. You can help me out here. If you're doing Apple Podcast, just go to the library, click on it, and you can give a 5-star rating, 4-star rating. Only thing I ask, if you give me 3 or less, give me a good reason so I can try to fix it. Come on. We can do this. 100. We need 100. All right, cool. What else you got?
That's it.
I think we covered just about everything that we wanted to.
Yep.
I think we did. We went by the script too.
Oh,
pretty
no.
much.
Stop it. A little organized.
So, yeah. So, remember the Kayak Redfish tournament. Go to Tourney X and enter. Share it with your friends. Get them to enter. That way you can win more money from your friends. So, and I said this on the last podcast that we did on this. I'm entered. I was the second one to get my name entered, but I'm going to recuse myself. So if I end up placing in the top 5, who's ever below me, we'll just bump everybody up on. So I just want to play along for fun. I don't want to take the money. So I'm going to recuse myself on that end. But
Roger, I'll take the money. How about you?
I'll take your money too.
Yeah. Well, y'all got to enter first.
I know. There you go. I was trying earlier.
Hey, I thank all of y'all for tuning in and listening, and I appreciate y'all helping this podcast grow. Make sure that you follow us on whatever platform you're listening to us, and you share us with all of your fishing friends, whether they're kayak fishermen or not. They could, actually tomorrow morning I'm taking somebody kayak fishing, and he's only been kayak fishing once. So,
cool.
Murphy. Taking
Nice.
Murphy.
Yeah, sweet.
He can't get his offshore boat off, so he wants to go try to catch some redfish.
I think Murphy's going to be hooked after this.
Yeah, well, he might be. He was already talking about, he's getting, well, you probably don't know this.
Yes, I do. We discussed it.
He's getting promoted.
Yep.
So, yeah. So he'll have a bunch more money to spend on a Hobie or maybe a new boat or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Will he have the time to ride it, though?
Yeah, well, exactly. All right. Thank y'all guys and gals for tuning in and listening to us. Again, I just ask that you share us with your fishing buddies. And as we always close this out as, always wear your life jacket.
What are you doing in my swamp?